Good morning or good afternoon, depending on when you're watching this video. Welcome to this pre-recorded presentation on virtual submission instructions for this year's Fine Arts competitions in TAPS. My name is John Skees and I'm the Director of Media for TAPS. I'm joined today by Brian Bunselmeyer, TAPS Executive Director, Robert Huckabee, TAPS Associate Director and Director of Compliance, Vina Williams, TAPS Director of Fine Arts, and Haley Hester, Project and Operations Manager from Varsity Hype, who is our partner here, and you're going to be hearing from all of those people today. We've also got Will Dixon from the TAPS office. He's helping us out behind the keyboard. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Brian so we can get started. Brian?
Thank you all for joining us for this presentation. We know this year is like none other in the past. We've had to pivot, a quick word there that means a lot of things to a lot of people, but we're moving to a virtual presentation and submission system for this year's fine art activities. We thank you for joining us for this webinar so we can learn a little bit more, give you the 10,000-foot view of what needs to be done as we prepare, and then later on, we will have additional instructions through different webinars and media. So again, thank you for joining us for today's webinar. And Robert, tell us a little bit more about what to expect.
All right, Brian, thank you very much. Remember, as we do entries every year, there needs to be a database, and for us, that database is Rank 1. So if you're a coach, director, or sponsor of one of our events in fine arts that's going to be having virtual entries this year, please make sure those roles are noted correctly in Rank 1. Make sure that if you have multiple roles at the school, those are all checked appropriately so you can receive all that information. Student eligibility roster is also in Rank 1 for all of your students that are going to be competing in fine arts. Make sure they're in Rank 1 correctly and they're in the appropriate rosters. There will be some instances where you may receive a shared Google Sheet and inventory list. Those will be provided to you. And as we'll be discussing most of this webinar today, the video and photo uploads this year will be done via Varsity Hype. Vina, I'll turn it over to you to begin some of our instructions.
Thank you, Robert. We'll start off with art right now, as we have short film deadlines coming up next week. For our categories 1 through 14, those categories are like drawing, photography, printmaking, and things like that will all be through a photo upload. Short film will be the normal video upload, and then senior portfolio will be the same PDF files that you've been uploading the last few years. So let's talk about the photo uploads for our entries. Categories 1 through 14, each entry will have a single photo upload that you'll enter into Varsity Hype. For 3D and 2D relief artwork, those will be presented as a single upload as well. However, you can include 2 to 5 images as a collage for that one photo upload. You want to make sure that your photos are good quality photos for the artwork to present it in its best light. Photos should be cropped and straightened so that the judges are getting a great view of the artwork. There is no mat necessary, so that's going to save you some time and money and effort, as we want the photo to be as close to the full image as possible. We will allow for a PDF upload for your reference images, your sketches, your production notes, the things that you usually enter on the back of your artwork if we were in a live situation. I'll be presenting some written information with more details and examples of what we expect and share that information on the website. For our video uploads, we'll use a video upload for the short films. Each short film entry will have one video upload. When you go to Varsity Hype, you'll be required to enter some information such as the film title, what camera you used, your editing platform, and different information like that. So be expected when you upload your video that there will be some other entry information that you'll be required to enter. For senior portfolios, this year it's the same as it has been in the past, where you create your Google Slides or your PowerPoint presentation for your 6 pieces of artwork, including all your process shots and your student statement. So continue to work towards those. We did extend the deadline to April 19th, the same deadline which we will use for the other art submissions. And so you have a little bit more time this year than you have had in the past. So those senior portfolios will also be uploaded on the Varsity Hype page as a PDF upload. Like I said, with those art things, we will have more detailed instructions. Varsity Hype will also have some instructions, how-tos on how to exactly do all these things, but we just wanted to give an overview today. So moving on to music, solo and ensembles will also be a video upload, as well as the concert ensembles. You will record your music and then upload those to Varsity Hype. There's also a place where you'll be able to upload your solo and small ensemble scores via PDF. We're going to see how that goes with the solo and ensemble and get judges' feedback on how it works out with that way. And then we'll decide if you'll be mailing in your scores for concert or if we're going to upload those concert scores. So we'll determine the concert scores later. For the music video uploads, each of your entries will have one video upload. So your concert selections that have 3 songs, that will be compiled as one video. So solos will each have a video, small ensembles with that 1 song, 1 video, and your concert with your 3 songs, or your medium ensembles, which have multiple songs, will just be 1 video each. We want to make sure that your video recordings are good quality. We'll have some requirements such as a single stationary recording device. We want to make sure that the camera is set in a way that you can see the ensemble or you could see the soloist with their instrument. We don't want any zooming or panning during the recorder. We just want a stationary recording device. You may use the device microphone or external microphones in order to pick up the sound from the room. We will not be requiring you to record in a certain space. We know that some of you are performing in your cafeteria or in your gym, all spaced out. So the spacing requirements, the masking requirements, all those things according to your school's protocol are okay for this video recording. We want to make sure that you are not electronically altering or digitally altering your video. So what I mean by that is no splicing, performing part of the song, taking another recording and putting those together. We want to make sure that the songs are performed in their entirety as a full performance. For music videos, we do want the students or the ensemble to make an introduction at the beginning. Just say student's name, I'll be performing this, so that it's easy for the judge to make sure that they have the correct video with the correct entry. When you're doing your recordings for solos especially, make sure that you declutter the background. It doesn't matter to us if you are recording in a practice room or in the band hall, or like I said, in the cafeteria or even on stage. Just make sure that it's a lot of the distractions in the background are taken away. If you can provide a plain background, that's best, just so that the quality of the video with the judge, it's just, there's no distractions with that. Moving on, we have our speech entries. For speech, the videos, we will have uploads for poetry, prose, original oratory, solo, and duet. For each of these entries, you'll be recording your presentation as following the rules of our bylaws. But each of these entries will have their 1 video upload with a single stationary recording device. Now, some of these will need to be placed where the video is set far back so that you can see the acting space, such as solo and duet, where the students will be moving around some. But for the single events or the poetry and prose and OO, the competitors can determine how close or distant the camera could be to maximize the verbal and nonverbal communication. So you can zoom in and set the camera so that it's an upper body visual so that the judge can get the best view of the student. We do not want zooming or panning during the recording, so you'll want to make sure that you set the camera, check your space. You can even just make sure the student is viewed And test your recording space before you start, and then make sure that when your recording's done, you just make sure the student didn't move out of the video space. The recordings must be from one uninterrupted performance. We do not want you digitally or electronically altering the videos. You may use a device microphone or external microphone in order to get a quality recording, but we do not want the students mic'd on a lapel mic or anything like that where they're up to a microphone directly. When making your videos, make sure that you declutter the background and provide a plain background if possible, such as a whiteboard or a theater screen or something where there's no distractions in the background. Although you may use your stage as a space to record, we do not want stage lighting to be used, so just have the house lights up so that the lighting is not changing the view of the performance. As far as audience is concerned, you may have a timer in there. It's okay if you're doing this in your class period and other students are there, but we want to make sure that there are no audience noises, there's no response to the performance, clapping, cheering, or anything like that. So the appearance of no audience, although we do understand that some of you will be recording during your class periods. Before you make these videos, be sure to review the speech rules for which items are allowed or not allowed. For example, no costumes, no props, certain categories you have to have your notebook and it appear not memorized, things like that. For solo and duet, you are allowed to use a chair. Just make sure those chairs are not rolling chairs and that they are just stationary 4-legged chairs when you're doing that. So be sure to look at the speech rules, make sure that you understand what is allowed, what's not allowed. The good thing about all these virtual recordings is that you can record it, double check that you didn't go over time, double check that it's exactly what you want. You can record these as many times as you want, but once the deadline comes, we do want 1 video upload per entry, and we want it to be your best work. So we've talked about a little bit about Varsity Hype. Robert, if you can introduce our partner and tell us what they're about.
All right, Vina, thank you very much. We're proud this year to announce a new technology partner. That's Varsity Hype. I'd like to introduce Haley Hester. Haley is the project and operations manager. Varsity Hype is helping us with all the technology needed for the platform to have our virtual entries, our uploads, the storage of all that information, and then most importantly, the ability for our judges to be able to recall that information, view it, and judge it. So Haley, tell us a little bit about Varsity Hype.
Thank you, Robert. Varsity Hype is extremely proud and very excited about being partnered with TAPS and being a part of this community this year. Our mission is to level the playing field through technology. We may have started out as a sports youth-centric cloud platform, but we have quickly pivoted into helping TAPS relay their information from events and activities onto an online platform that's easy to use. We deliver technology solutions to the activity needs of students, athletes, coaches, schools, and organizations across the amateur world. Our tech is video, audio, and images that can be uploaded across the platform. We've opened it up to make it as easy as possible for the students to submit and have their entries judged in a timely and efficient manner. We will be sending out handbooks for each role, so that way the administration, the judge, and the participants all know what they're required to do with Varsity Hype and TAPS. Varsity Hype has joined forces with TAPS starting in January of 2021 in order to help facilitate their virtual arts and academic events. Our platform will aid with the participant submission process, video, audio, and images, judgments, placements, and overall management of the event and sub-events. Myself and George Ortiz are more than happy to answer any and all questions that you may have through this process. So feel free to reach out. And again, we can't thank TAPS enough for allowing us to be a part of this.
Thank you, Haley, and thank you to Varsity Hype for joining with us this year to help us move to the virtual environment. As you see on the screen, our email is info, I-N-F-O, @taps.biz. Our phone, 254-947-9268. Rhonda and Kelly are here in the office ready to help as we get through moving through into the moving things onto the website and moving them onto Varsity Hype. So we appreciate you emailing us at info@taps.biz, 254-947-9268. We'll jump over to the website real quick as we get ready to end this webinar. www.taps.biz. If you haven't been there before, www.taps.biz. Click on Fine Arts up there in that blue column, and then that's going to move you to be able to pick off any of the fine arts as we go there. So if you'll just jump down and click on Art, it's right there in the middle, and it's an easy one. All of the web pages will be similar. We will have championship results, art entry instructions, that will all be there. We'll have your checklist. Those will all be updated in the coming days. Over there on the right-hand side in green where it says Art Memo 224, that is our TAPS blog. Each of our activities will have a TAPS blog. All of our emails that are sent out will be also stored there for your quick review, and any updates will be there as well. We'll go ahead and click on the calendar tab at the top in the blue line as well. The calendar will also have your dates and your upload dates. We will continue to upload dates and deadlines on the calendar. If you'll move us over one into April real quick. Ready Writing is going on now. If you look down, it does say speech submissions begin on April the 6th, they end on the 9th. So continue to look at the calendar as we move forward. So Vina, we appreciate your leadership. Varsity Hype, we appreciate your partnership. John, lead us on out of this webinar as we get ready to go virtual for the TAPS Fine Arts 2021.
Thank you, Brian, and thanks everybody in the office. That's it for us today. This recording is going to be available on our YouTube page. Again, if you have any questions, please send us an email, info@taps.biz, or call us at the office, and we look forward to seeing the submissions for this year's competitions. Thank you, folks, and enjoy the rest of your day.